Hey guys, what's up? Today I want to talk about 10 ideas to basically explore scales. These are 10 ideas for scale patterns. Now, the thing is, a lot of people practice these wrong. Now, I'm not saying they're not practicing cool ideas. I'm just saying sometimes they actually just practice the idea and not making music with it. I want to go over 10 points, 10 ideas and concepts, but we also talk about how to actually implement them in a song or a loop or anything. So the work is kind of half in the lab, diving in and exploring, and then bringing that into the actual real world, as much as we can if we're practicing, but making music. So it's not just the exercise. You want to utilize some ideas and some concepts from that, but to make music. All right. If you're interested, there's also a PDF with all this information on the Patreon. Thanks again for supporting and making this happen. Oh, I have to tell you, so I'm putting an album out that I spent a lot of time and I'm super, super excited about. There's just amazing artists and collaboration on it. Actually, 24 people. Just mean a lot. If you guys can check it out and pre-save it, please. Thank you. 1. And this is a really easy one, but actually super helpful. So before you start practicing your idea, write it down on a piece of paper, because you can see how many variables you can find when you write something down. So let's say I want to play C major scale, 60 BPM, 8 notes, 2 octaves, ascending. So C major scale, right away we know that this is a variable, right? So it doesn't have to be C major. Maybe it could be C diminished, or C minor, or B major. All these are variables. It doesn't have to be 60 BPM, it could be 140 or 20 BPM. It doesn't have to be 8 notes, it could be triplets or quintuplets. All these are small things, but actually when we're practicing, we could change them up and switch them. So just by writing the idea, you can find all these cool permutations that maybe didn't come like naturally, but once you see what's happening there, you can break it down. 2, doubles. What we're gonna do is talk about the device. I'll show you the device on C major scale because I think it's the easiest in this position here. I'll play it in time, you can play it with me, and then we'll implement it on a little song. The song is gonna be really simple, just like a cute loop. I don't know if it's cute. Just a really simple loop that I made in C major, so it's really convenient. You can use my loop or anything else, whatever you want, as long as it's in time and it's in the key of C. Here, what we're gonna do basically is just playing each note twice. Pretty simple, but also could be very expressive. So let's try to play in time, and then we'll do the trick playing it on the track. 3, 4. What I was trying to do here is also breathing in 2 octaves, so I was kind of taking a big breath as I was just ascending the scale, and then I descend the scale and basically exhale throughout that. You don't have to do that, but it's kind of a new thing that I'm trying, and I think it's cool to connect what we're playing to the breathing as well. It's an interesting process, but it's worth checking out. All right, now with the loop. Like you see, I'm not only playing doubles, I'm still playing some ideas and lines, but I'm utilizing the doubles, that concept, as like my main focus, but I'm still trying to create some music and some lines that are contrasting and, something that is just music. So don't just practice the patterns, but remember to make music. 3, groupings. So when we're playing a scale or any pattern, we can group it in different ways. That means that, if I'm playing C major scale, the classic are 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, different permutations of these groupings. So I can say, okay, and you heard these things before, and people practice them and try to play it crazy fast, which is fine. There's no problem with that. But the question is, how much music is there in it? The question is, how much can we hear it, and how much can we make true music with that element? So let's first work on the element itself, go into the lab for a couple of minutes, and then go out of the lab and try to make something with that loop or a different loop that you guys want in the key of C. So I'm staying here right now in the C major centric, and I'm playing 1, 2, 3, 4. So literally 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm saying 1, 2, 3, 4 because that's the pattern. Of course, if I'm talking note degree, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, 5, 6, etc. So each time I'm basically starting from the next scale degree: C, D, E, F, D, E, F, G, E, F, G, A, etc. Let's play it in time with a metronome. Keep that 60 BPM happening. Okay, we're gonna add one more layer. I'm gonna sing the C note while playing the 1, 2, 3, 4. Why? Because I want to feel the tension and release while playing it. Let's check it out. 3, 4. Yeah. Well, you see, it's not that easy if you need to think about all the tension that is happening against that C note and hold it, and you're playing the 1, 2, 3, 4. It's nothing crazy, but just like you want to really focus and kind of be able to contain that tension and that music within you while you're practicing it. So the trick is just slowing it down to the point that it's clear and easy. If it's hard for you to sing, just pause it and then do it slower, and etc., etc. Now let's try to make something musical with that idea. So like you see, I use the doubles, I use some lines, I use the 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. I can't even say it. But you see, I can just use it here. It creates this tension, this kind of like almost like an arrow indicating where we're going. So it's this. Yeah. 4. 1, 3, 5. You know, I love triads. I love the sound of it, and I think it's a beautiful and super important element while we're practicing music and hearing these chord changes going. So what I want to do is just play 1, 3, 5, the triads, on this position here on C major scale. So really like. I'll do it slow and we'll go over it together, and then we'll do it in time. So I'm really keeping this kind of fingering and position of the C major scale, but basically starting from C, then D minor, E minor, F major, G, A minor, B diminished, C, D minor, E minor, F, G, A minor, B diminished, and C. Let's do it one more time. So the tries are so C major. You can use different fingers if you want, but the idea is just keeping it here. D minor, this is E minor, F major. You see, I'm just kind of following the key. G major, A minor, B diminished, C major, D minor, E minor, F, G, A minor, B diminished, and C. Let's play just ascending in time, and of course we talk about permutation soon. 3, 3, 2, 3, D minor, E, F, G. Just tell yourself the chords, so it's kind of clear. And descending the same way. Cool, so we have the triads, but now let's try to make some music with it on that loop. Like you see, I'm just messing around a little bit. I'm finding some simple ideas within the framework. No chromatic notes, no nothing, really just utilizing the triads. I did a little, which is basically just a 5-3-1 with a little kind of flair. Nothing crazy, and it just made sense for me musically at that moment. That's what I was hearing, so I just played it. But like you see, it's really the 1-3-5 in a very clear way. And again, forcing myself to utilize a new element and try to make some sense of it. 5. So now we're getting into the realm of 7 chords. Instead of just playing 1-3-5, we're gonna add the 7th, which actually has a lot of beautiful color. So first, let's do the same trick. We're gonna go over the framework together. I'll show you the fingerings, and then we'll do it in time, and then we'll make music. All right, so the framework is this. I'm gonna stay in this position of C major. I'm not leaving this framework right now. Of course, like you know, there are many positions, so you can play these things in different places, but I would start with one thing, like really nailing it. So let's do it. The first chord is 1-3-5 with a 7. So C major 7, then D minor 7, then E minor 7, F major 7. And you see how I'm really staying in the framework of the key. This was G7, then A minor 7, B half diminished, C major 7, D minor 7, E minor 7, F major 7. I'm gonna go a little out here. G7, A minor, B half, and C major. Now let's do this in time, just ascending for a second. 1, 2, 3, 4. So what I was doing, I was trying also again to breathe in a few chords and breathe out, just kind of to sync with the metronome. But I was just playing, you know, just in time, playing those 7 chords in a sort of a clear way, I hope. Now, the way I would practice it is like anything else we talk about, slowing it down, understanding what the notes and how the chords are related. Sometimes I'll sing the tonic, the C, no, feel the tension. Sometimes I'll sing the chords and play the center, different things, just to try and hear it as much as possible. All right, now let's try and play music with it. Like you see, I was really playing a lot of 7 chords. I started with the C major 7, and then I kind of went to the A. That's kind of sound. Then I played a little bit of lines, and then I decided to like be more 7 chordy. So I played some just A minor 7 to G7, F major 7, E minor 7. So I really played like little repetition or something of that nature that I repeated. So there was a repeating rhythmic idea through those chords, and then resolved to this kind of note. I actually don't remember what I played at the end, but I'm sure it was resolving. Well, I hope so. 6. All right, so this is the world of permutations a little bit. So like we said on point number 1, we can write the exercise down and then find a lot of ideas. So here, if we would have written the triads or the 7 chords, we would discover that we're playing 1, 3, 5. So that means I can play 5, 3, 1, or 1, 5, 3, or 3, 1, 5, etc., etc. So there are a lot of options how to play it. Instead of playing ascending, we can descend the chord. Ascending, descending, descending, ascending, etc. So let's just take one idea. How about we do ascending, descending for the triads? 1, 3, 5. For example, ascending C, descending D minor, ascending D minor, descending F, etc. And it has this kind of sound. Let's do it in time together, slowly. 3, 4. C, D minor, descending, ascending, descending. Yep. Ascending, descending. Now let's take that into the musical world, the same loop, same vibe, different vibe with that element. So like you see, I just played a completely different idea, repeated it a couple of times to create some context within the framework of C. And then I really played the triads, like literally the exercise, but I didn't play it, 3 octaves or 2 octaves, like you could, but sometimes all you need is just like a little vibe. So although you can play it in different places and play it fast, sometimes you just need to find the music within it and combine it with other elements. 7. Thirds. So thirds are really cool, actually. I love that sound. I always felt like I need to play it crazy fast, and there's no reason. I mean, it could be cool, but it's not really necessary. I think we can do interesting things with that, both harmonic and both melodic. So let's just try for a second just to see the framework on the scale, on the position, and then we'll make some music. So when I'm thinking about thirds, we're basically skipping one note, 1, 3, right? And I'm really playing it on the framework of this position. There are many options, but this is not a bad one. Let's do it really slowly together with a click. 60 BPM. 2, 3, 4. Cool. Of course, there's more things that you can mess around with, right? I was ascending in a certain way, and then when I got here to the C, I did C, A, B, G, but I could also do the other way, right? So this is kind of connected to what I was talking about, like writing the exercise down on a piece of paper and figuring out the options. All right, now let's make some music with it. At least try. you see, you can use it as a very expressive tool. Etc, etc. And it doesn't have to be fast. At the end I played a little faster line with that just to show you that it's also possible to use it in this kind of way. But the point is, like, you just want to make music with it. So practice making the music. Alright, I know it's a lot of stuff, but please be with me because I think the last couple of points are super helpful. 8. So thirds are cool, like melodic as we're playing them right now, but they're even cooler when we're playing them harmonic. Basically just playing diodes or, you know, double stops, whatever you want to call it. So I'm just grabbing the 2 notes and going over the scale. Now sometimes the position, you know, will change slightly just because sometimes you want to go here and sometimes maybe you want to stay in this framework. So whatever works for you, as long as you're aware of what you're playing. This is not a bad fingering. This, I guess, comes pretty natural to the way I see the framework of the scale right now. But let's do it together, really slow and carefully. 3, 4. And back. And I'm really thinking about G, F, E minor, almost the chords. So it could get into this kind of cheesiness vibe, but it doesn't have to, because at the end of the day it's very expressive and emotional. So I understand why it kind of feels sometimes a little cheesy, but you know, if you're truthful about what you're playing, I think it's totally fine. And also being cheesy is a vibe. 9. Well, 9 is actually 10s. So what I mean by 10 is basically the same third we just played right now, C and E, but with an octave displacement. So for that, I'll try and stay in this zone still, but I'm just playing 1 and 3, 1 and 3, 1 and 3. Check this. Finger, you can go here for E minor or here, so check this out. C, D minor, E minor, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And it's a beautiful sound, and it also already sounds like almost like a full chord, although we just have the 1 and 3. Because of that octave displacement, we get a lot of overtones, which is just sounding beautiful, and especially that low register on guitar sounds such a vibe. All right, let's do this in time. 3, 4. E minor, F, G, A. I'm thinking B diminished, although it's just a minor third. C, D minor, E minor, F, let's do one more, G, and back, F, E minor, D minor, C, B, A minor, G. So beautiful. Now let's try to make some music with that. So that means I'll play some lines, and then I'll play these tenths. Basically the same way I was treating the intervals before, but just with this interval. So kind of like lines versus diodes, if you will. So again, nothing crazy, but it really works. 10. I know I said it quite a few times on this video, but I really mean it. I feel like a lot of people that I talk with often don't practice the context. So don't worry about practicing scales for 3 hours a day. Practice an hour and a half, that's fine. But then really take these elements and make music. I used to all the time try and solo over songs and loops and records and anything. I just try to take the information and try to see how I can use it. Definitely failed a lot, but it's a process of learning. So do it. Thank you so much, guys. I hope this was interesting and fun, or at least interesting. I'll see you guys very soon. Peace.